Coming to you from the Freedom Federal Credit Union Studios, Harford County Living presents Conversations with Rich Bennett.
Slow pitch assistant.
It's probably the least sexy part of the organization. That's okay. No. The truth is...
Last time Aurora Winter joined me, we talked about the incredible power of storytelling, turning heartbreak into purpose, and how the right message can completely change your life and your business. That episode is titled Aurora Winter on Story, Healing, and Wealth, in case you want to go back and listen to that. And now she's back. And since our last conversation, the world has changed a little more. AI is transforming how we create content, build brands, and connect with audiences. Matter of fact, we saw the couple that climbed up to the Empire State Building, and I am so sick and tired of seeing all these AI images with different quotes on the flag now. but it is. I mean, it's helping us transform a lot of stuff. So today, she is here to talk about the updated editions of Turn Words into Wealth and Marketing Fast Track. Why she decided to update these books instead of writing a new one, and how entrepreneurs, authors, and business owners can stand out in an AI-driven world. Aurora, how you been? God, I can't believe. So those of you listening, today is July 3rd. The last time we talked was November.
Oh, time flies. It just flies by.
Did it seem like it was that long ago?
I know.
And I know we've been playing tag, trying to, hook up again. That was not the right word to say there.
That didn't sound right.
Trying to get you back on again. God, look, I didn't realize that I had somebody else on it, and I said hook up, and they're like, no, you can't say that. I'm like, what?
Not 2026. You can't say that.
It's like,
that means something else.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh, okay. All right. So the last time we did talk, AI came up near the end of our conversation. And I remember you described Chat GPT as being like a PhD intern. And I love that analogy. So what has changed enough over the past several months that made you decide it was time to update Turn Words into Wealth instead of writing an entirely new book?
Well, I am working on new books as well, but yeah,
good.
Turn Words into Wealth was an award-winning book, and it came out a couple of years ago. And I thought, you know what? It's got 7 different ways to make 7 figures. It's got about a decade of my experience in publishing and in the film and television business. All of that actually still stands and is valuable. Right. But I wanted to add, how do we use AI, and how can you use AI wisely to make your brand more valuable? And what are the dangers? Because if you use AI indiscriminately, you could destroy your brand.
Oh,
because it's so common these days. AI produces words so quickly, but what most people don't really realize is that can destroy your brand because it's very generic. So what I'm a stand for, and what I'd love all of our listeners to come away from this, listening to this from, is some useful ways to think about branding, to think about increasing the value of your business, and some cautionary notes about how not to use AI, but how to use it.
Yeah.
So we talked about story the last time. So one of the things I think people can really lean into is, what are the things that you have as a human being that AI can never compete with? So there's 4 things. There are 4 things at minimum to lean into as we're in the age of AI now in 2026 and beyond. And one of those things is definitely your stories. So AI has generic stories and generic information, but only you have your own stories and the stories of your clients whose lives you have changed. So collect those stories and share those stories. And that is part of creating a valuable brand, because a brand is just a story. A
Right.
brand is the story that other people tell about you when you're not in the room.
That is, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to make them all four of these human superpowers begin with S to make it easy to remember. So, first one is your stories. The second one is your smile. And what I mean by that is human beings actually need other human beings. We crave meaningful connection.
Yes.
So when you show up in person on your networking meeting, having coffee with somebody, having lunch with somebody, or even showing up like we are live in real
Right.
time on Zoom right now, or Riverside or whatever, on Squadcast, your
Virtual.
smile, but it's live. It's real.
Yeah.
It's a real human connection, and that really feeds our soul.
Yeah.
So lean into your smile. Lean into knowing that your presence is a present for other people, and that's something that AI can never replace. Okay,
And your
so lean
smile
into
says a
that.
lot.
It does. Absolutely. And then the third S word, the four, is your style. So
Ooh.
your style, by that I mean, like, what is unique about you? What is special about you? What is your particular vibe? So back in the day when we, lived in tribes of 150 people rather than
Right.
living in a global economy, we didn't want to stick out. We wanted to sort of blend in. But 2026 and beyond is not the time to blend in. It's the time to lean into what's unique and special about you and your
Right.
style. It could be that you like fishing. It could be that I love pickleball. I just got back from playing pickleball. It could be that you dress up as Santa for Christmas time. So instead of hiding those things,
embrace them
and even shine a spotlight
Yeah.
on them. And then I'm going to share the fourth one, and then I want to hear which one stood out to you most, Rich. So the fourth one, because we got to have all S's, I call Socrates.
Ooh.
So what do I mean by Socrates? So Socrates is famous 2,000 years after he died. Why? Because he asked powerful questions. And when you lean into your curiosity as a human being and you ask powerful questions, whether you ask powerful questions to another human being or even to AI, you're actively seeking answers to tough problems. This is a superpower.
Yeah.
And especially when we ask other people questions and then we wait for them to give the answer, you're actually rewiring that person's brain as they think for a minute and they're like, oh, that's a good question. And then they pause and they find the answer. And that pause can create a eureka moment, that aha moment. And that actually is rewiring the other person's brain. So that's the opposite of what we typically do with AI. With AI, we are passively waiting for it to give us the answer.
Right.
But if we're asking really good questions, it's still going to work. It's when we're lazy and asking lame questions that we get lame answers, and then we're basically giving our agency away. We're giving our power, our control, our agency. We're giving our brand away to AI. So that is a big mistake. So lean into those four human superpowers, keep your control, keep your agency. And if you really define all of those things very, very clearly before you work with ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini or Perplexity, define those things. Maybe you have a 20-page document. I've got 200-page documents of what I stand for, what I care about, what my stories are. So then I can ask a powerful question and get an answer that is congruent with my brand. I think the biggest mistake is to show up and ask a question and then take action on that. You don't want AI to own your brand, your business, or your vision. You want to be the master of your destiny.
Well, and the thing is, because would you want another person to own your brand or your business?
No, exactly.
Exactly. So why would you want AI to?
Exactly right.
I love those four S's.
That's kind of good, aren't they? Yeah, your stories, your style, your smile, and Socrates.
Yeah. I like Socrates. I think that resonates with me more than any of them.
Uh-huh.
because when I first started this, well, I may have told you before, when I was in radio, I was a music DJ. I didn't want to talk to people. I didn't like talking to people. But since I started the podcast, one of the things I found is the questions that you ask, one simple question can start an hour-long conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned so much from people from the questions.
Mm-hmm.
And I would have never done that before. I would have never learned everything. But that's how we all learn. You have to ask those powerful questions.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're not going to learn anything.
Ask
And then smile questions as you're doing
it. Exactly right. And then I think like the overarching human superpower, I call it your massively transformative purpose. So why are you here on this planet? What is the change that you want to make in the world? You know, what do you want to be on your tombstone? What do you want people to say about you? What, you know, when they're having your celebration of life. So that also is very deeply human and deeply personal. So when you also, you filter those 4 human superpowers and then you add the change that you'd like to make in the world. I was just reading some quotes from Elon Musk, and you know, he was just saying like, he said, I'm trying to be useful.
Yes.
I'm trying to make a difference. He said his superpower is technology. So he's trying to make a difference to other people and to the planet through the lens of technology. Well, I'm also trying to be useful, but technology is not my superpower. Words and communication are more my superpower. You know, I used to be a film and TV writer, producer. I've written 10 books. I've written 30 screenplays. So words are my superpower, and my massively transformative purpose is to help thought leaders make a bigger difference by getting really clear on their message and then publishing it in a book or in videos or on videos on YouTube and getting out on podcasts, so that people who are already making a difference, leaders who are already making a difference, are empowered to leverage that difference one to many instead of one to one. Like, yes, you can make a difference one to one, but if you've got a book, a podcast, a YouTube channel, all of a sudden you can impact people. You know, you can do it once, write your book once, shoot your video once, record your podcast once, and it can reach thousands or maybe even millions of people.
Oh, yeah. And it's amazing. And I've mentioned this before on, I don't even know how many episodes, but like with this, when I get an email from somebody in another country thanking me because of a guest I had on and how it helped them, it's like, I would have never thought about that before. And that's a huge reward that I get. Knowing that.
It's part of your massively transformative purpose to make a difference.
Yeah, oh, God. It's just, and some of these people, when I hear from them, it brings me to tears. You know, because of prime example, and because we talk about addiction recovery a lot. And I had a guy up in Canada reach out to me and told me he heard the episode and his daughter was in addiction and he didn't know what to do. And he was able to get her into recovery. And I forget how many years ago that was, but I still stay in contact with him and she's still doing good.
Wow.
Yeah. It's like, wow. All because he heard that episode.
Is absolutely amazing. You probably saved her life and saved him a lot of grief. That's the power of a message that comes from the heart, right?
Exactly. Exactly. And AI is not going to do that message, but
I was just going to say, AI does not have any heart.
Yeah, that's, there are things, I noticed this, because I do see a lot of brands making this mistake. I mentioned, the couple that just climbed the Empire State Building.
Oh, yeah.
And I was seeing everybody taking that image and just replacing the words on the flag with their logo or whatever. It's like, okay, it got old really quick.
Yeah.
It got old too quick. But I think, and it's not just of that, you're seeing a lot of companies and brands, especially when it comes to the images, the things they're creating with AI, you can tell it's AI. As a matter of fact, because our Lions Club, we just had a community connections fair. It was our first one.
Mhm.
So I asked AI to create an image for the Facebook event for it.
Right.
You could tell it was. I wasn't ashamed of it. And somebody called me out and I was like, well, yeah, it's AI because this is our first one. So I'll
Yeah.
be taking photos during it. But
Right.
it's still, it comes in handy. People
It
need to
comes in
learn how to use
handy.
it and don't overuse it the wrong way. Does that
I
make
think
sense?
that exactly right. So I think if you lean into your four human superpowers and your
Yes.
massively transformative purpose, and then add AI to scale or leverage after you've gotten clear what's the problem that you solve, who do you serve, what are you here for, and then of course never hide that it's AI. I think people are very you'd never want to break trust or
Yeah.
lose trust. But I think like if this has changed even from last year, like in 2025, people were like, "Oh, that's AI," and they'd be all pissed off about it. Now it's like,
Uh-huh.
of course it's AI, but it's not being hidden. Like
Right.
that's fine. You make AI to make an image. That's normally accepted these days. So I think we want to thread the needle. If you don't use AI at all, you're going to be left behind in the dust.
Oh, yeah.
Because AI is like an engine. You know, it's like the difference between when we had the horse and carriages and then we got an engine. Okay, the people who stuck with the horses, you know, that's charming, but they're not going to make it from LA to New York very fast.
No.
So we want to empower ourselves with the engine that AI provides, and yet be careful not to ruin your brand or dilute your humanity. So I think it's a combination. So for example, like I wrote this book. It took me years and a lot of effort. I recorded the audiobooks for Turn Words into Wealth. A lot of human touch and caring went into that.
Right.
But then when I'm spell checking, I ran it through AI. Why? Because I've read the book 25 times and I'm not gonna notice things like, oh, there's 2 spaces after a period instead of 1. It can find things like that. So
Yeah.
that's being of greater service to people. That's not a problem, right? That's good.
Well, and here's the other thing too, and I don't think a lot of people understand this, because a lot of people use Microsoft Word for editing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Well, when you're using was it the spelling and grammar check?
Yeah.
Isn't that AI that's technically going through checking it?
Exactly. Well, even Gmail or any other email, they're autocomplete. It's AI.
Yeah,
so
they
AI
autocorrect.
I can make you say the worst things. But then, like we were talking before we started recording, like nowadays, AI can put your ad on a podcast and only target a certain zip code. That wouldn't have been possible, a couple of years ago. So there are some targeting things that can help spend your advertising dollar more wisely. Okay, well, lean into those things. Those are great, but never let it take your voice. Never let it drive the ship. So if you're using AI, be sure that you give it very detailed prompts. And I would recommend creating a document with 100 pages of who you are and what you stand for and what you don't stand for, so that it's authentic for you.
And with the voice thing, because like it's, like you mentioned, we were talking beforehand, especially if you're a podcaster, use your own voice.
Yes.
Don't let AI do the podcast for you. And I've heard that. Yeah. Matter of fact, I did an episode purposely, just having AI do it. Did the voice
like 11 Labs or something? Or
yes.
What do you mean?
Okay. Yeah. I recorded it and I let everybody know this is AI just to get I wanted to see the response.
And what did you notice?
The response wasn't that good, but still, it's because, and I think the reason being is because people are used to hearing me.
Well, of course. And there's an energy to that. It's not just your voice.
And AI can't do that.
Yeah.
Well, and I mentioned this the other day to somebody. I was watching, it was YouTube, and it was a video about Bob Seger and how some of the songs that he wrote, he gave to other musicians, other artists, and all. And the one part, So I'm listening to it, watching it, and listening. It's like, I've heard this voice on another video, first of all.
Uh-huh.
And then it hit me when he started talking about how Bob Sager lent a song to Glenn. He didn't say Glenn Frey. Oh,
That's a clue.
Okay, first of all, it's Bob Seger and it's Glenn Frey. It's like,
Right.
that's why I recognize the voice. It was from another video, a different channel, different person, different everything altogether, but it was the same AI voice.
Yeah.
It's like, people, if you're going to use AI, whether it's for writing, whether it's for speaking, whether it's for video, double check it. Double check
exactly. Double have some quality
triple
control.
check it. Triple check.
Well,
And you see writers make that mistake.
Yeah. This is one of the reasons why I'm a big fan of video on YouTube. I know you have a different idea.
I watch video though.
But I think that, like I have a couple of YouTube channels.
Yeah.
Strategic Basics is my main one. And it's my face because it's so easy to do AI audio.
Uh-huh.
But I'm like, in the age of AI, I think it's really important to build trust. And so one of the ways you can build trust is by people seeing your face on YouTube videos or other places like that, so that they know it's really you. So I have the Aurora Winter channel and the Strategic Basics channel, but I also have an AI video channel called Anna Zest. It's the Anna Zest series, and it's based on my fantasy books. And it's, it's an AI animated character, and it's like a little book trailer. So we totally lean into AI on that channel with the Anna Zest. So, and that's appropriate because it's a fantasy book, and who wants to hear me reading a fantasy book? Well, maybe on your other YouTube channel.
I was going to say, I think if I put my face on YouTube, though, people would get confused. Because after Christmas, the beard comes off.
Yeah, I noticed you got a lot less beard.
Who is this guy? What happened? Where'd Rich go? Then the goatee comes in, then the full beard, and then it comes off again. It'd be like, wait a minute.
What's the seasons of Rich? That'd be kind of fun.
Oh, I like that. The seasons of Rich.
I like it.
But at the same time, I've had some guests on who could not show their face on video.
Oh, yeah.
Because I had an FBI informant who could not show his face. I had a young lady who had to use a different name and wrote a book about her ex-husband who was a narcissist, and she was still moving about. Then I had another guy who was military, but he couldn't show his face, but I also had to disguise his voice.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I made him sound like Mickey Mouse.
Going on a deep dive there.
Oh, yeah, but it's a lot of people don't think about that. Because I get people all the time, Rich, you got to do video. You got to do video. I can't do it with all my guests.
Yeah. Well,
and I have a tendency to break cameras.
You're handsome. Don't believe what he's saying. He's totally handsome. You asked me.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
You asked me why did I update this book, Marketing Fast Track. By the way, people can get.
Well, I thought that was the new book.
I thought Turn Words into Wealth. I updated them both.
Okay. So
people can get for free. They can get the hardcover copy of Turn Words into Wealth at turnwordsintowealth.com. So go to turnwordsintowealth.com and they can get that book for free. And they will also get this book, Marketing Fast Track, as an ebook as a bonus. So this book, Marketing Fast Track, How I Made $250,000 in 90 Days with this short book, I updated it because it's a very interesting story. Like you had said, a lot of authors don't love marketing. And what I wanted people to know is, you know what? I wrote, when I was pivoting from one business to another, I wrote a little short book based on a 1-hour interview. And I published that book. And then I added more value to the people who got it. I gave them some free videos. And then people who wanted could jump on a call with me and have a strategy session. And from doing that, within 90 days of it becoming a print book, I generated $250,000 of new business. Nice. I didn't sell $250,000 of books, but I attracted new business, and my typical client invests about $5,000 a month, so it doesn't take that many clients to get new business of $250,000. And why I decided to update the book, so it's still got the classic middle of the book, which was
Right.
based on the 1 hour interview. And then it models and shows people how to do it, and shows them the emails that I sent, and gives them everything so they can just do it themselves. And I wanted to refresh the book and give a new introduction and a new conclusion so that it's
Okay.
updated for the age of AI. And I think one of the points people are sometimes wondering, like, do you still need a book in the age of AI? Do people read books anymore? Like, what is the point of a
Yes.
book? Yes, exactly. So I really wanted to let people know books are not dead. In fact,
No.
I think books matter more than ever in the age of AI. Rich is
I think you're
nodding
seeing
vigorously.
more people read books now.
Oh, yeah. You're noticing more people are reading books. Why do you think that's happening?
Because I am. No,
Well,
seriously.
yeah.
I honestly do believe that. From when I go into all these different book fairs and everything, and just seeing all the people going up to the authors. I mean, these places are packed with people coming to meet independent authors.
Yeah.
And young people too.
Yeah.
And young authors as well. But no, I think more people are reading.
Also, I think in the age of AI, when there's so much generic content and there's the fire hose of content, what makes a big difference is, are you an authority? So if you have some kind of expertise and you put it into a book, you're an authority, because the root of the word authority is author, after all. So I just wanted to give people, yes, Turn Words into Wealth is a substantial book based on a bunch of research. It's got a whole bunch of stories. It's what you'd expect from a best-selling, award-winning nonfiction book. But Marketing Fast Track is just a little book based on a 1 hour interview, and now it's got updated 2026, what happened after the book came out and how you can model this as well. Because tell a little story. Like, I think you may remember that when Gmail first came out, it only had 3 features. So instead of making 25 features with the engineers thinking what people wanted, they launched it with 3 features. So often you can never really understand, how did this person get started? So I wanted people to know, hey, with a 1 hour interview, you could potentially get started on your path of attracting new business. And then if you want to figure out really how to do it in 7 ways to make 7 figures, you read this book, Turn Words into Wealth. But in spite of the fact that the Marketing Fast Track is a short book, I think that's what makes it useful, so that people can see, oh, here's the stepping stone that Aurora took when she pivoted from one business to another. I used a little book to test and see, did people want my help with their marketing? Did people want my help with their messaging? Did people want my help publishing their books? Because I was doing a completely different business. And with a little book, I got to see, oh yeah, people were very interested in that. I spent $12,000 in advertising, generated $250,000 in 90 days. I think that is a successful.
That's a good ROI.
That's a good ROI. And I highly recommend that people test. If you have a new business idea, a new product, a new service, don't go crazy. Give yourself a 90-day test. Give yourself a modest budget to test it. I recommend, don't spend more than 3 months of rent or 3 months of mortgage payment. That's a reasonable amount.
Yeah.
If you're on a shoestring budget to test an unproven idea.
With your experience in marketing, and this probably has nothing to do with the book, but I'm seeing a lot of small businesses shut their doors. And I'm not really seeing them doing any paid marketing. They're relying on social media only, which seems a waste of time. It does. When you're not doing marketing, you're not advertising or whatever, it's only going to be those select people that see and find out about you. How do we convince these small business owners that, well, number one, they need to get your book so they can learn how to do it, but to actually do it, to market the proper way?
I think that is a very big question. I think
It's
maybe
it's
the
one of
answer
those
is
powerful Socrates questions.
it is. You got it, Rich. The key is to really start paying attention to your numbers and track and
Mm-hmm.
measure your return on investment or your
Mm-hmm.
ROI. So I like to take things with a sort of lighthearted approach. So I'll do like what I call experiments. So, I'll put $1,000 or $5,000 as an experiment to see what
Right.
happens. So, for example, I'm doing an experiment right now. People can go to turnwordsintowealth.com and they can get the hardcover book for free. They just
Mm-hmm.
cover shipping. Now that's going to cost me the cost of the book. So I'm out, you know, $10, everybody who does that. But I want people to do it. And then I'm thinking, okay, let's see what happens, because if some of those people convert into $5,000 a month clients, that's a good return on my investment.
Right.
So the other thing, people make so many mistakes with their marketing, and if they read Turn
Oh
Words
yeah.
into Wealth, hopefully they will avoid these mistakes. But so many people don't even think through, okay, after they've read my book or after they've connected with me, what am I going to sell them? You need to have something to sell. You
Yeah.
need to solve a problem. Entrepreneurs solve problems at a profit. So if you are solving a problem at a profit, like I know you do in many different ways, you solve problems at a profit for your clients.
Mm-hmm.
What is that problem costing them if it's not solved? So let's
Mm.
just take an imaginary problem. Let's assume that the problem is costing that business $10,000 a month. If you
Right.
can solve it for $1,000 a month, well, they're going to pay you all day long and twice on Sunday, right?
Yeah. You would
So you want to
think.
think, yeah. And then if you're charging $1,000 a month and you can get a new client for $100 of advertising, well, again, you're going to do that all day long
Mm-hmm.
and twice on Sunday because you're getting a 10x return on your investment. I don't know. I don't think there's a simple answer to your question, but that's what I can give in a couple of minutes. What do you want to add to that, Rich?
Well, I think when and it always, I hate seeing businesses close their doors.
Yeah.
Small businesses especially, it frustrates me. But you hear it a lot. It's like, oh, I never even knew they existed. I never knew they were around.
Mm-hmm.
And I get into arguments about this a lot because people say, well, it was in a bad location. I don't believe in that. I don't believe there's no such thing as a bad location.
Yeah, I agree.
If you advertise correctly, you'll bring the people to you.
Yeah.
No matter what. I always think of Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come. Well, once you build it, you have to let them know.
You have to advertise, not just build it and wait
Yes.
there.
And I think advertising, let's face it, it is hard.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that a lot of businesses will try something. They don't experiment, like you said. And we were talking before we started recording. I was telling you about my experiments that I do. But I think that too many businesses, they'll try an advertising approach. They'll do it for, I don't know, 3 months, even a year. And if they don't get anything out of it, they stop it right away.
Mm-hmm.
And they go on and try something different. And one of the things where I think the businesses are messing up is they're not, how can I say this? Because not all businesses can use a coupon code.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times, and I found this out from my years in radio, a lot of times when you ask a customer how they heard about your business, they may remember seeing the ad or hearing the ad on one radio station, but they'll say another radio station because it was the last station they were listening to. And your ad may have never played on that.
Yeah.
So it's hard.
Reliable.
It's like, yeah, I don't think there's any way to really pinpoint how, where your advertising is working. Now, one of the things I always tell businesses this is don't just advertise with one source. Mm-hmm. You have to keep your name out there. Advertise in good, smart, reliable sources.
Right.
In other words, places that have been around for a while.
Exactly.
So whether it's a magazine, whether it's a newspaper, whether it's a radio station, TV station, podcast, website, look to see how long they've been around.
Yeah.
Look to see if you're focused on local, make sure they are truly local, you know. So it's
target local.
Yeah. I don't know if there's one way. It'd be nice if there was.
I think there are multiple ways, but it's also really good to track it. Like I'm surprised how many, I help entrepreneurs, launch as thought leaders. And until I really question them, they're very loosey-goosey with tracking. It's like, okay, let's really lean into like and anybody listening to this can do this. Like make a list of your ideal clients that you already have. Come up with a dozen or 24 names and list them, and then look at all of their attributes. Are they a doctor, or they're a lawyer, or they're a homemaker, or they're this age or that age, or they're a second generation American, or they live in a big city or a small city, or their income is this or that. Like if you get 30 would be an ideal sample size. My MBA is showing 30 is good, but you may not have 30 clients that you've done business with that we would love to clone. Just clone the ones that you love that were great, but just analyze that a little bit. And it's amazing how much you can learn. So many people make the mistakes of saying, oh, my business is for everybody. No, it's not.
It's not.
And it's better to, like I said, to lean into being more specific, more unique, and get really clear who is your ideal client, and then focus your advertising to serve them. Like part of the reason I'm giving away Turn Words into Wealth for free, the hardcover book at turnwordsintowealth.com. If they want that, people do pay the shipping, but then they also get the ebooks, the audiobooks, and the Marketing Fast Track ebook. They get all of that. It's because when I looked at my list of my favorite clients that I would love to clone, at least a third of them had not heard of me and just got my book on Amazon. They came to me cold. They weren't a referral from somebody else. They read Turn Words into Wealth, or even they read Marketing Fast Track. They got it on Amazon. Then they booked a call with me at bookcall.biz. And the next thing, they ended up being a client for 5 years. So I'm like, oh, I guess if people read my book, they're very likely to become clients.
Right.
So how can I help more people read Turn Words into Wealth?
Well, that's why
everybody can benefit from doing this, whether you've got a service business or you've got a restaurant. Make a list of your ideal clients and see how you can target your advertising more specifically to them.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And I do think that people make that mistake, which is why they got to get your books.
That's exactly right.
That makes sense to me. And book that call with you.
Exactly.
So you could teach them how to do it.
I love helping people. And it's also,
it's rewarding.
Amazing. It is really rewarding. And like I had a call with a client yesterday, and I've taken an MBA. I've launched multiple 7-figure businesses from scratch. So I'm very comfortable in the startup space. And she was struggling just because she had been very optimistic about revenue, and she had made all of her costs fixed. So her rent was fixed. She had a lot of people on her staff. They were fixed. She had all of these fixed costs, but her revenue forecast was too ambitious. So her revenue was below her expenses. Now, it's a structural problem. Like if she had made her costs variable costs, so instead of having 6 people waiting for customers to walk in the door, if she matched her staff to the actual demand, this would solve a bunch of problems. But I think one tip, if business owners are listening to this, how can you change your costs from fixed to variable, and how can you possibly get the cash before you've done the work instead of after? Because all of these things matter a lot, especially for a new startup business. Cash is king.
Oh yeah, it is. with especially with AI, and I think this is important. And websites, SEO. People are still pushing SEO. But is SEO giving way to AI search and geo?
I think so.
Okay.
AEO or GEO. So what
Yeah.
I recommend is, yes, collect all of your
COGO. AEO. No.
go through the whole alphabet.
Yeah.
Um, need to communicate not just to human beings, but also to AI these days.
Mm-hmm.
So, for example, one of the things I did is I went through, I didn't finish the book yet, but I went through about half of Turn Words into Wealth, and I turned it into questions and answers that are short. I thought
Mm-hmm.
through, okay, this content is written for a human being to read. So I like the neuroscience of communication, like it's written in a way that you'll enjoy reading it. It's full of stories, full of actionable things. But AI is more question and answer, and it likes more
Yeah.
neutral content. So if people go to samepagepublishing.com, they can click on we have we call a wealth lab. And that wealth lab is really about a third of the book, Turn Words into Wealth, turned into questions and answer format. So if
Oh.
somebody asks a question, like, what is $1 million message? Or what is a strategic brand showrunner? Or why do stories matter?
Right.
Or these kinds of straightforward questions, then it has a short answer. So nowadays, I think we do need to optimize. SEO still matters, but GEO or AEO, whatever
AEO.
it's going to
Yeah.
end up being called, matters too. And you want to give neutral answers in a
Right.
way. Think through what is the question a human being would type, and then give a neutral answer. So, but the other quick tip I can give is when you make pages like that, you probably don't want more than 20 questions and answers on a page. They
Mm-hmm.
can all be clustered around the same topic. And then at the front, at the top of the page, and probably at the bottom as well, you put who you are, your claim to fame, your website, what you're known for, and name the things that you do.
Yeah.
Give your things specific names. So, like I do the movie trailer mindset. I'm a strategic brand showrunner. So I have different names. I help people create their $1 million message. So I have all these trademarks. And
Okay.
so the AI can start to go, oh, Aurora Winter, she's the founder of samepagepublishing.com. And she's the one who's the TV producer who has the movie trailer mindset and the showrunner ideas. And that's what she does. And then I can be recommended if appropriate.
Because I'll be honest with you now. I mean, how many people even use Google search, Bing search, or whatever anymore? It's usually
Yeah.
Copilot,
Yeah.
or I forget what the other one is. But your search engines or your browsers have AI incorporated. So you're actually
Yeah.
asking AI. And how many people will ask, I can't say her name, Lexi, for that information?
Yeah.
And she responded to that. And those of you listening, especially business owners, test that. If you have Lexi, what's the Google one? Nest? No, I
Well,
don't know.
you're making me want to just pop in here and say this is another reason to be a published author, because
Mm,
AI looks at Amazon and Goodreads and places like that,
yes.
and that is given very high weighting. So it's another way to make sure that you show up, as the authority that AI recommends, not the one it replaces in the age of
Mm-hmm.
AI. So a book really becomes a very important piece of your intellectual property, but also it helps you come up in the AI search.
And every business owner should have a book.
Yeah, every business owner should have
I
a
mean,
book. I
and
agree.
actually, do you see where, all right, so with businesses, I know brand's important, but especially for the business owner, is personal brand just as important or maybe even more important?
The way that I think about it, I think that the brand is the story that other people tell about
Yeah.
you when you're not in the room. So I think you personally have more stories than any business.
Mm-hmm.
But a business, I think we make a mistake if we get too corporate with our business messages. Even if you're running a multi-million-dollar company, you
Yeah.
want to lean into the stories, your story, but the stories of the clients whose lives you have transformed. That's what people remember. That's what people
Yeah.
repeat. It's story, story, story. So yeah, I think, your personal brand is your most valuable asset. It's the story people tell about you when you're not in the
Yeah.
room. So make sure that you give them lots of stories. And, Gary Vee, I think Gary Vaynerchuk is a good
Oh,
example of
he's
this.
awesome.
He's great, and he's dyslexic, so he hires ghostwriters to help him write his books.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he doesn't like writing. He's dyslexic, but he knows how to hire a team. That's what I do for my clients. About half my clients are
Yeah.
dyslexic, or they don't like words, but they can talk. So I help people talk their books out. But anyway, Gary Vee, he's all about social media, but he also publishes at least one book every year. He doesn't
Mm-hmm.
miss that step. And it's important because if you take the time to write a book, you get much more clear what you want to say, and then you're ready to speak on stages or on podcasts. Most of the time, Gary Vee is talking about that he posted 400 things on social media that day, which overwhelms people. And then they're like, oh, I got to hire VaynerMedia to post 400 things on my social media. So he's all about social media, but he doesn't neglect publishing a book every year,
Yeah.
approximately every year.
That man is amazing.
He
He
isn't
is.
he? He is.
I would love. Actually, it was a webinar. A guy I follow had, and Gary Vee was the speaker, and not a lot of people. We were all in the Zoom room, and you could ask Gary Vee questions afterwards. But yeah, his story, wow,
Yeah.
just amazing. Wow.
Immigrant from Belarus, and look at what he's made for himself.
Yeah.
But I love how he really he doesn't show up like, oh, I'm VaynerMedia. He shows up like Gary Vee.
Yeah.
You get to know that he likes playing cards, that he cares about the Jets, that he's got this, what's it called? V Friends, that is for kids.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't isolate silo by silo. And then he shows up, and obviously most people cannot afford to work with VaynerMedia because they deal with Fortune 500 companies.
Right.
But if you're listening to Gary Vee go, I posted 400 things on social media today, and you're running a big company, you can hire VaynerMedia, right? So he's not trying to be, and then he's just giving help for free to the rest of us. But it still works to fill his pipeline. And I think that's a good model that almost any business owner can copy. Like, you don't have to withhold your best content. You can give it away for free. You can help everybody, around the world for free. And a select proportion of those people who could just say, would you just do it for me, Aurora? Could you just do my book for me? Can you just interview me, launch the book, launch my YouTube channel? I mean, yeah, my team and I would be glad to help you with that.
I got to get back to work on mine.
What's the status of your book?
I had stopped doing it because I just got so busy. And then I had another young lady on, Nicolette Holiday, and she told me I need to get back to work on it. It's like,
well, I'm going to double down on that. Get back to work on it.
Well, the reason I stopped was I was originally going to write a book about podcasting, and I stopped because it's like there are so many books about podcasting out there. And she brought up a good point. She goes, but people are reading them. I said, well, I guess they are. She goes, but they're not reading yours. I said, well, it's because I haven't written mine. She goes, exactly. It's like, oh, damn.
Well, of all the things you could write a book about, is that the one that's alive in you? Because I think you could also write about sobriety. You could write about making a difference. You could write about
there's a lot I could write about.
There's a lot you could write
just
about.
The stories on my podcast alone. But, and the more and more I thought about it, it's like, you know what? I don't want to, it would be about podcasting, but what I learned from podcasting. Yeah. Because that way there's so many things I can incorporate, from doing it over 10 years and how I started, how I monetized before I started, but the guest as well, all the different guests, what I've learned from my guests and how podcasting has helped me, actually I would say become a better person and learn so much. And I didn't give up. Give up.
That's the key to life.
Yeah. Because I mean, when I started, I was once a month, and I didn't even drop on certain days. It's just dropped whenever. And then I went to once a week and now 3 times a week. And I kept it steady at 3 times a week for a long while, and probably still will. I can't go every day. Like some people say you need to do it every day. No, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't want to burn myself out.
So what's one thing you want to share with the listeners that you learned from doing podcasts?
You know what? Something you mentioned earlier about the powerful questions. And that's one of the things I want people to know. Don't be afraid to ask questions, because that's how you're going to learn. And that's how I've learned. And don't be afraid to talk to anybody. Yeah. I mean, at first, when I started this, if somebody said, "Oh, you ought to talk to this person that's in recovery," my first thought would be, "Oh, no, I don't think that's a good idea." Or even talking to people who have lost loved ones to suicide. But, and I'll be honest with you, Aurora, when I do, there are times where I've cried on the podcast hearing their stories. But it's meant a lot to me. It's meant a lot to them, and it's helped other people. And that's why I tell everybody, everybody's got a story to tell. Yeah. Get out there and tell it, because you never know whose life you can change. Exactly. Right. And I think that's probably the biggest thing I learned from writing it. That's right now it's just
stopping
time.
Or stalling you.
Just time right now. I am going to, because I told Nicolette, I said, look, after the holiday, I will start on it again. Even if I'm only sitting down for an hour writing. Yeah. At least I'm writing, and not writing. I'll be dictating, because I can't even read my own writing. So I'll open up Microsoft Word and talk into the microphone,
Yep. All right. I want to see this book. You're going to hold you accountable and get that done. Yeah. Just follow your own medicine. Like from what you were sharing, I could see your face lit up. You have some things to share, and it could definitely help other people. Plus, it's part of your legacy, and it can be part of attracting people to anything that you're up to. And my typical client, they have no time because they're busy running a business. And that's why they like working with me, because once a week I interview them, or they come for a VIP day and I interview them, and we just bang out their stories. But many people don't really like writing. But if somebody is asking them questions, it's easy to answer questions. It's easy to be on a podcast, but
it is. Yeah. And it's weird let me rephrase that. For me, it's weird to be a guest on a podcast, because I'm so used to being on the other side. Yeah. It just seems so, I don't know. It seems so weird, but anyway, is there anything you would like to add before you pick the last question?
I get to pick the last question.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know if you did that last time. Did you?
Maybe.
I can't remember.
The last question goes to the next guest.
No.
Okay. I just really want to echo what you said, Rich. That your stories matter, and whatever's stopping you or stalling you, just try to get over it, because just imagine that your book could save somebody's life, or it could save their business from going bankrupt. It could save them from hopelessness and depression and despair. And then if you need help, reach out to somebody like me, or reach out to me at samepagepublishing.com. But why not start by reading my book for free? Turnwordsintowealth.com. You get the hardcover book for free. You get the ebook, you get the audiobook, you get a workbook, and you get the ebook of Marketing Fast Track. A gift to you.
You're getting everything but the kitchen sink.
Everything but the kitchen sink. Turnwordsintowealth.com. So go grab yourself a coffee while supplies last. But your story really matters. And if you need help to write it, then reach out to me or somebody like me, or just do it. Just do it.
Like Nike said.
Exactly.
All right. I need you to pick a number between 1 and 5.
7.
So between 1 and 5.
1 and 5. I thought we could say 1 and 10. I'm sticking with 7.
Well, you know what? I can just go to question 7. Huh?
I'll go 3 then.
Wait a minute. Hold up. Wait a minute.
Do you have a
You know
question
what?
at 7?
I mean, because I got 100 questions, but I just got them broken up into categories.
Uh-huh.
I can do number 7 if you want. I think it'd be a good one.
Okay, let's go for 7.
Okay. What is a hidden talent or interest you have that might surprise people?
A hidden talent or interest. Well, I already revealed that I love pickleball, so that was there. I really do love fantasy. We didn't talk about fiction on this call at all. I've written a fantasy series for young adults, just kind of like Harry Potter meets Doctor Who. It's called Magic, Mystery, and the Multiverse. And one of the reasons that most people don't know that I wrote it is because I think nothing matters more than inspiring the next generation. And one of the themes in that fantasy series is about free speech versus censorship.
Oh.
So I started writing it, during 2020 when we had all the cancel culture going on. And I think that's one of the most important issues. In fact, I talk about that on Strategic Basics quite a bit. I think the most dangerous thing in our society is if we have cancel culture, if we censor people. I think we talked about this before we started the recording, but you mentioned somebody had a video out about a reasonable topic to talk about, and the video was banned by YouTube, and then it got it back on, and then the whole channel was banned. I think this is a very dangerous thing for our society.
Yes, it is.
It's something I'm super passionate about. And I think everybody can lean into, like, be curious about other people's opinions. Don't muzzle other people or silence them or erase them. Be curious.
Yeah.
Be curious. And hey, if you really don't like their opinion, stop listening to them. Go listen to somebody else. But if we make our whole society so intolerant that we can't stomach other people having different opinions about politics or about health or about whatever, we're going to be in a terrible, terrible place. It's going to be,
we're all going to be what do you call it? Clones of one thing.
All clones. Yeah.
And you don't want that. I think that could be a good movie though. Harry Potter meets Doctor Who.
Yeah.
But which Doctor Who? Who?
It's got to be the 10th Doctor. It's got to be the David Tennant.
Oh God, Aurora, thanks so much. It's always great talking to you.
Thanks, Rich.
Aurora, thank you again for coming back. And I have to say, I think this conversation really reinforces something all of us need to remember as AI continues to change the way we work, market, write, and even communicate. Use the technology, learn it, experiment with it, let it help you work smarter, but don't hand over the things that make you human. I love what Aurora shared about our 4 human superpowers: our stories, our smile, our style, and Socrates, our ability to ask powerful questions. AI can give us information, generate ideas, check our work, and help us reach more people, but it can't replace our experiences, our relationships, our curiosity, or the reason we're doing what we're doing in the first place. And something else really stood out to me today. Whether you're an author, an entrepreneur, business owner, podcaster, or somebody who simply has something meaningful to share, don't assume people will magically find you. Tell your story. Build your brand, market what you're doing, ask questions, experiment, measure what works. And most importantly, don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Because as Aurora and I talked about, your story could help somebody you will never meet, could save a business, it could give somebody hope, it could even change a life. And Aurora, apparently, you've also given me another kick in the ass to finish my own book. So now I've got 2, 3, I don't even know how many people holding me accountable. So I guess I better get to work. Make sure you check out the updated editions of Turn Words into Wealth and Marketing Fast Track. and connect with Aurora at Same Page Publishing. Aurora, thank you again for joining the conversation, sharing your knowledge, and reminding all of us that in an age when technology can create almost anything, being genuinely human may be our greatest advantage. Until next time, I'm Rich Bennett. Thanks for listening, and remember, every great conversation starts with someone willing to listen and someone willing to share. Now it's your turn. Join the conversation by sharing this episode, leaving a comment, or reaching out to me directly. Take care, be kind to one another, and I'll talk with you again soon.